Masha woke up before sunrise, her eyes opening before her mind could catch up. She didn't remember dreaming. That had become normal. El Paso was quiet in that strange way cities get before morning. Not peaceful, just paused, like something holding its breath. The room was dim, the thin curtains barely blocking the desert light. The mattress beneath her was still warm from sleep, but her body felt tense, already alert. Her muscles stayed like that now, even when nothing was happening. She sat up slowly, listening. No voices, no movement, no doors. The house was empty. Most of the others left before dawn, chasing hours that paid cash and asked no questions. Cleaning crews, construction sites, kitchens that didn't care who you were as long as you worked fast and kept quiet. Masha stayed behind today. Ava had told her to wait. "I'll come back with answers," she'd said the night before. Not promises, just words. Masha trusted words less every day. She swung her legs over the side of the bed and stood, careful not to let the floor creak. The house was old, every sound carried. She moved to the window and pulled the curtain back just enough to look outside. The street was empty. A dusty pickup passed slowly, music low, windows down. Somewhere far off, a siren cried and faded. El Paso waking up, piece by piece. She rested her forehead against the glass. This city felt like a waiting room. Not a destination, not a beginning, just a place where people paused before disappearing again. Her phone buzzed softly in her hand. No signal, no messages. She slipped it back into her pocket. That's when she heard it. A knock. Sharp, controlled, not rushed. Her heart jumped instantly. She didn't move. She counted silently, the way she'd learned to do when fear threatened to take over. 1, 2, 3. Another knock followed, slower, deliberate. "Masha," a man's voice said from the other side of the door. Calm, low, certain. "I know you're awake." Her blood turned cold. No one here was supposed to know her name. She stepped back from the window, pulse pounding in her ears. Her mind raced through possibilities. Police didn't knock like that. Immigration didn't announce names, and anyone else would have shouted. She swallowed. "I'm not opening the door," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "That's fine. I'm not here to force anything." Silence followed. Then he spoke again. "I'm not law enforcement, I'm not with immigration, and I'm not here to take you anywhere." Her fingers curled into fists. "Then why are you here?" she asked. A pause. "Because you crossed the border with someone people don't forget." Her stomach tightened. "I crossed with strangers, like everyone else." A faint exhale from the other side, almost a sigh. They called him Ray, and he wasn't just another body on the route. Her heart skipped. She moved closer to the door without touching it. "I don't know anyone named Ray," she lied. The man chuckled softly, not amused, not mocking, just tired. "Names don't matter out there, you know that." Something slid across the floor. She looked down. A photograph. It stopped just short of her feet. Her breath caught before she even picked it up. Slowly, she crouched and lifted it. The image was dark, grainy, taken from far away. A group of people moving through the desert at night, shapes more than faces. But one figure was unmistakable. Her! Same jacket, same scarf pulled tight around her head, her posture slightly hunched against the cold, and a few steps behind her, a tall man, hands always in his pockets, head down, watching everything. Ray. Her throat closed. "How did you get this?" she whispered. The man outside leaned closer to the door. His voice dropped. "Because I was there." Her mind rejected the words immediately. "That's impossible." "Is it?" he replied calmly. "Open the door, Masha. or don't, but understand this. I'm the only one who came alone. Others are already asking questions. That landed heavy. She stared at the photograph again. Someone had watched them cross. Someone had followed. Someone remembered. After a long moment, she unlocked the door. It creaked open slowly. The man standing outside wasn't what she expected. Mid-40s, tall but not threatening, clean clothes, worn but intentional. His face carried the look of someone who had learned to stay calm because panic didn't help anymore. Sharp eyes, observant, not cruel. He lifted one hand slightly, not offering it, just showing he wasn't reaching for anything. "Winston," he said. She didn't invite him in. "You shouldn't be here," she said. "That's true, but it's never stopped me before." She stepped aside reluctantly. Winston entered the house and immediately scanned the room, not for valuables, but for exits, sounds, signs of life. "You live like shadows," he said quietly. "We don't live, we wait." He nodded once. They stood there for a moment, studying each other. Finally, Winston spoke. "Ray disappeared 2 days ago." Her chest tightened. Disappeared how? Vanished. No calls, no sightings, no body. She looked away. "Why are you telling me this?" she asked. "Because he stayed close to you, and because people who disappear like that usually don't do it by choice." Masha crossed her arms. "I barely spoke to him." That's what made him noticeable. He watched, he listened, he knew when to move. She said nothing. Winston pulled a small, battered notebook from his jacket and set it on the table. Inside were maps, names, dates, some crossed out, some circled. "I follow patterns. Illegal crossings, missing people, stories that don't line up." "You're a journalist," she said. "I was. Now I just look at what everyone else avoids." Her voice hardened. "You should stop." He met her gaze. "I can't." "Why?" "Because Ray wasn't running from poverty. He was part of something bigger." Fear crept into her chest. "You're wrong." "Then explain why he knew patrol schedules, why his phone pinged restricted zones, why certain crossings only moved when he was there." Her silence answered for her. "You didn't know," Winston continued gently. "That's not your fault." A knock interrupted them. Loud, urgent. Masha flinched. Winston was already on his feet. "Did you expect anyone?" he asked quietly. "No," she whispered. Another knock. "Masha?" a woman's voice called. "It's Ava." Relief washed over her, but Winston didn't relax. "You trust her?" he asked. "I think so." "That's dangerous." Masha opened the door. Ava stood there, breathing hard, eyes alert. She stopped when she saw Winston. "Who's that?" Ava demanded. "A problem," Winston replied calmly. Ava's jaw tightened. "Then you need to leave." "Not happening. Not while she's being watched." "Turn to Masha." Ava turned to Masha. "You need to pack. We're leaving." "Leaving where?" Masha asked. Ava didn't answer. Winston did. Into deeper trouble. The room filled with tension. Masha crossed her eyes. She had crossed deserts. She had trusted strangers. She had survived. Now she stood at another edge. She opened her eyes. "If I move again, it won't be blind." Winston nodded slowly. "Then we need to talk about Ray, about El Paso, and about why this city doesn't let people disappear quietly." Outside, sirens wailed faintly. El Paso was awake, and somewhere in the city, someone was watching. Watch the next episode.